In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Piranesi Locks. Let's start by opening an EPIX file. And you can download this file from our website. To illustrate how locks work in Piranesi, I've opened a style file provided with this movie, and I select the styles using the style selector here. And this style has a round brush shape, and selects blue paint. Let's paint just the glazed area. As I press down on the left mouse button and drag the mouse over the scene, you will notice how difficult it is for me to restrict the flow of paint to just the glazed panels. In fact, it's so bad I'm going to undo this effect. In Piranesi, you can use locks to restrict the items you paint. In the Locks toolbar over here, you have the 4 lock buttons. And this button here is to clear all locks. And clicking the 2 chevron button displays the lock setting palette. I'm going to select the plain lock. When a lock is in use, the button on the toolbar has an orange background, and a padlock will appear next to the mouse pointer. So now when I start painting, blue paint is only applied to the glazed area here. And with my finger still pressed down on the mouse button, the flow of paint stops, until I move over here and once again paint is applied to the scene. This is because the areas here and here are all in the same plane in 3D space. Now I'll undo my blue windows so that I can show you one of the other locks, the orientation lock. I need to uncheck the plain lock and click onto the orientation lock button. Now with the orientation lock checked, I'm able to paint all items facing the same direction. You can see how blue paint is applied to the glazing, the front face of the window frames, and walls, but notice how paint has not spilt onto the sides here and on the planter box side here. I'll undo this so we can look at the material lock. This time I'll use the Clear Locks button to uncheck the orientation lock, and now click onto the material lock button. You can use a combination of plain, material, orientation and color locks to give greater control when painting. Okay, now I have the material lock checked, we can look at how paint is restricted to items in the scene by a material name. If you look at the information toolbar up here, and let's undock it and drag it over here so you can see it in full, the material name is displayed. And it is also displayed down here. As I move my mouse pointer over the scene, the material name is constantly updating. For example, this block has a material name of Building 3, and this one, Building 4. The material name was assigned in your modelling program prior to being rendered out in Piranesi's proprietary file format, an extended pixel file, and this is called an EPIX file. Let's position the mouse pointer over here, and notice in the information toolbar, the material name has changed to Frame. As I start to paint, my blue paint is restricted to the window frames only. If I lift my finger off the mouse button and start to paint here, once again the paint is restricted, but this time to material called columns. And there's one more lock here, the color lock. Let's set the current color to yellow. Now to display the color dialog box, you can click the color preview box here, or click the 2 chevrons, and then we'll click onto yellow. Notice when I paint, the yellow paint is replacing the blue. This is because my first paint stroke was over the blue area, and therefore the color lock has restricted painting to blue pixels only. And that concludes this short introduction to Piranesi Locks.